No way. Adam Peters just flipped the board right when we needed it most. Commanders fans, if you thought we were heading to Dallas without reinforcements, you're out of your minds. Because what just went down in the last few hours is about to completely change our Sunday game. And that's not all, because I've got exclusive info about this franchise's future that's going to blow your mind. We're talking about decisions that could shape the next 5 years of this team. And you know what's even crazier? All of this is happening while the rest of the division is sleeping. Stick around till the end, because that last piece of news is going to spark a massive debate in this community. This is burgundy and gold, baby. After weeks of watching this offensive line try to protect Jaden Daniels without one of its key guys, after watching how our defense desperately needed more depth in the secondary, Adam Peters just did exactly what had to be done. And let me tell you something, this dude doesn't rest. This dude gets what it means to build a playoff roster. Sam Cosmi is back. Commanders fans. The right guard, who was ranked number 23 out of 75 qualified guards by Pro Football Focus in 2024, is returning from injured reserve just in time to face the Cowboys. And you think that's coincidence? No way. Peters knew we needed that. O-line operating at 100% for what's coming. But here's where it gets really interesting. It's not just about activating Cosmi. We also brought Jonathan Jones back from IR, a veteran corner who gives us depth exactly where we needed it. Remember those weeks when our secondary was struggling against speed receivers? Well, now we've got more options, more versatility, more depth. And Peters didn't stop there. We cut Jalen Holmes, a defensive end who just wasn't producing. In this league, you either produce or you're out. That's how it goes. And we elevated Robbie Chosen and Sheldon Day for Sunday's game. See what's happening here. Peters is maximizing every roster spot, using the elevation system like a pro. Now let's talk about Sam Cosmi specifically. The guy is 26 years old, was our 51st overall pick in the 2021 draft out of Texas. And Washington valued him so much that we gave him a 4-year, $74 million extension. You get what that means. It means this organization sees Cosmi as a cornerstone of our future. I'm telling you this. Having Cosmi back changes everything for our offensive scheme. Jaden Daniels will get more time in the pocket. Our run game's going to be stronger. And all that pressure from the right side now has a solution. And you know who we need that against more than anyone? Micah Parsons and that Dallas defensive front that thinks they're about to own us. Now, here's my question. Why did Peters wait until now to activate Cosmi? I think the answer is simple. This guy is strategic. He knew Cosmi had to be 100%, not 80, not 90, but full go before bringing him back. Because once you activate a player from IR, that move shapes your whole roster. And about Jonathan Jones, he brings that savvy, that experience you want in big moments. While the Cowboys keep trotting out the same old guys and the Eagles are trying to patch holes, we're getting key pieces back who already know our system. You think Micah Parsons is happy about this news? You're out of your minds. Now he's got to face an O-line that just regained one of its best guards. Now he's got to think twice before trying those pass rush moves he loves so much. Let me ask you, how many teams in the league are making these smart midseason roster moves? Because I see the Giants still trying to figure out who their starting quarterback even is. I see the Cowboys paying huge money to players that can't deliver. And here we are, activating key pieces exactly when we need them. Cutting Jalen Holmes also says something important. Peters isn't afraid to admit when something didn't work. He's not afraid to make a tough call if it means improving the team. That's the mindset you need to build a contender. You can't get sentimental in this league. And the fact that Robbie Chosen and Sheldon Day got elevated tells me Peters sees something in them specifically for this Dallas matchup. These aren't random moves. They're calculated. And here's what nobody's talking about. These moves give us flexibility for the next few games too. Because with Cosmi back and Jones giving us options in the secondary, suddenly Peters can make more strategic adjustments ahead. And the craziest part? We're doing all of this while keeping our salary cap healthy. We're not mortgaging the future like some other teams. We're building smart and sustainable. I think these 5 roster moves prove Adam Peters gets something most general managers don't. The roster is a living organism. You can't just set your 53 in September and forget about it till January. You've got to keep tweaking, adjusting, improving. If that surprised you, wait till you hear this next part, because it's going to totally redefine how you see this franchise's future. Now here's where it gets even crazier, Commanders fans. Because while we're celebrating these roster moves for now, Jordan Reed from ESPN just dropped his first midseason mock draft for 2026. And he's got the Commanders picking Oregon tight end Kenyon Sadiq at pick number 15. And you know what that means? It probably means Zach Ertz's time with this franchise is coming to an end. I know a lot of you don't want to hear that. But it's reality. Zach Ertz turns 35 next month. 35. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler, an incredible locker room leader, still producing at a solid level. But in this league, you have to think 3 years ahead, not 3 weeks ahead. Kenyon Sadiq is 20 years old. Let that sink in. 20. Won't even turn 21 till March. This kid is younger than some college seniors, and he's already projected as a first-rounder. You get the kind of talent we're talking about here. Reed says a pass-catching tight end is one of the Commanders' main needs. And he's right. Ben Sinnott, our second-rounder from 2024, is still a question mark. We don't know what we've got there yet. You can't gamble the future of the position on someone who hasn't shown consistent production. But let's talk Sadiq. This kid is explosive, reliable, and barely scratching the surface of what he can become. In his first year as Oregon starter, he already has 3 touchdowns and keeps improving every single week. Scouts are buzzing over him. Now, I'll ask this. Is tight end really our biggest need for round 1? Because I see other spots that need serious help. We need a young edge rusher who can generate pressure for the next 10 years. We need another productive wideout to complement our group. And don't even get me started on the need for elite secondary help, a true shutdown corner or safety. But if Adam Peters sees Sadiq as the best player available at pick 15 as a generational talent, then you've got to take him. Because in the draft, you never let positional need blind you to pure talent. And imagine Jaden Daniels with a weapon like Sadiq. 6'4", 250 pounds, runs like a wideout, blocks like a tackle. The complete safety blanket every young quarterback dreams of. That's Sadiq's ceiling. I think Sadiq's versatility is his biggest strength. He's not just a receiver. He's a reliable run blocker. He can line up on the line, in the slot, even outside in some formations. That kind of flexibility is priceless in the modern NFL. Now let's give Ertz his flowers. The dude has been key in Jaden Daniels' development this year. He's the vet who knows every route, knows how to read defenses, knows how to keep a young QB calm. That's major. But business is business. Ertz's contract ends this year. And as solid as he's been, does it really make sense to hand a 35-year-old tight end a multi-year deal when you could draft his replacement and get 4 years on a rookie contract? And here's the interesting thing. Sadiq's so young that if we drafted him in 2026, he'd be entering his prime right alongside Jaden Daniels. They grow together, gain chemistry together, become that long-term duo every franchise dreams about. Think about the tandems that made history, Mahomes and Kels, Brady and Gronk. Those connections take time, but once you've got them, they're unstoppable. If Peters takes Sadiq in round 1, it'll be because he sees something special. Peters doesn't draft without purpose. Look at 2024. Every pick had a plan, a reason. But here's the counterpoint. What if there's an elite edge rusher sitting at 15? Or a corner who looks like a future All-Pro? Do you pass on that for a tight end? Those are the tough calls Peters has to make. And my personal take? We need that edge rusher more than another tight end. You can find quality tight ends in later rounds. but a game-changing pass rusher, someone who gets 10-plus sacks a year and anchors your defense for a decade. Those guys don't grow on trees. Still, if Sadiq truly is that once every 5 years kind of talent, you can't ignore him either. See the dilemma? That's why being a GM in the NFL is brutal, balancing short-term needs with long-term potential. Roster holes with the best player available. And just when you thought we were done, I've got breaking news that's going to directly impact our Sunday matchup. And if you thought that was all, you're out of your minds. Breaking news. Deebo Samuel is out against Dallas with a heel injury. Before anyone panics, let's put this in context. Samuel was downgraded from questionable to out on Saturday. That means the team decided not to risk him. And that's the right call. Deebo played Monday night against the Bears, but only caught 4 passes for 15 yards. 15 yards. That's not the Deebo Samuel we know. That's a banged-up Deebo trying to push through Dot, and what nobody's mentioning, we're also going to be without Terry McLaurin. Scary Terry will miss his 4th straight game with that quad injury he suffered during our 41-24 win over the Raiders on September. 20-first Dot, so do the math. No Samuel. No McLaurin. Who are our top receivers in Dallas? That's the real question here. But here's how I see it. This is an opportunity. A chance for other guys to step up. A chance for Jaden Daniels to prove he can win without his go-to weapons. A chance to show real depth Dot, because great teams don't fall apart when they lose a couple of players. Great teams have that next person up mentality. And if we're serious about being a playoff team, a real contender, we've got to prove it now. Let's talk. Deebo. The man's 29. In his first year with Washington, after 6 seasons with the Niners, 34 catches, 315 yards, 3 touchdowns in 6 games. Solid numbers, not Pro Bowl numbers, but dependable. But what worries me more than him missing this game is that heel injury possibly lingering all season. Heel issues are tricky, not like an ankle sprain that heals in 2 weeks. They drag Doc, so here's my question. Should we be concerned that Deebo only had 15 yards against the Bears? Because when a receiver of his caliber posts 15 yards, something's clearly off. Either he's hurt, the scheme's bad, or the defense completely shut him down. Now Terry McLaurin missing 4 straight is major. That quad injury is serious. Terry's a fighter. If he's sitting out, it's because he truly can't go. That tells me the organization is being smart, not rushing guys back, not risking long-term setbacks for one October win. They're thinking about November, December, January. Still going to Dallas without Samuel and McLaurin. That's tough. Huge challenge. The Cowboys, even sitting at 2-3-1, have a defense that can bring pressure and force mistakes. I think this game is going to reveal who we really are. Can we go into Dallas and win shorthanded? Can Jaden distribute the ball and stay efficient? Can our run game carry the load? Those are the questions we'll answer Sunday. And honestly, I'm pumped to see how we respond. Because if we win this game without Deebo or Terry, that sends a message. The Commanders don't rely on 1 or 2 stars. The Commanders are a team. Here's some historic context. Deebo was a 2nd-round pick back in 2019 by the 4-9 Ertz. Became a first-team All-Pro and Pro Bowler in 2021. Certified top-tier player. But that was 4 years ago. Now he's 29, adjusting to a new system. Productive, yes. Dominant, not yet. So I'll ask, was trading for Deebo Samuel the right call? When we brought him in, we expected a dynamic weapon who could hurt defenses as both receiver and rusher. Haven't really seen that full version yet. Don't get me wrong, he's been good. But has he been worth what we gave up? That's a fair question. And with both top receivers out Sunday, our entire game plan has to be reworked. More tight ends, more creative formations, more passes to our backs. Now it's on Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury to prove their coaching value. Any coordinator can look smart when everyone's healthy. The great ones win with whoever's available. You think this puts us at a disadvantage against Dallas? You're crazy. This is pure motivation. This was a chance to go into Jerry Jones' house and show them we don't scare easy. Commanders fans, these 3 news stories show exactly where we stand as a franchise. Adam Peters making smart roster moves for today. Draft projections pointing to a bright future. And immediate challenges we're ready to conquer. Now, let me ask you, do you believe we can win in Dallas without Samuel and McLaurin? Are you on board with drafting Kenyon Sadiq in round 1? What do you think of Peters' latest roster shakeups? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what this community thinks. Are you as hyped as I am about where this team is headed? And if you liked this video, if you learned something new, if you want to keep getting the latest news and in-depth Commanders analysis, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This family's growing fast. Don't get left out. Turn on those notifications, because tomorrow we've got even more news, more analysis, more Commanders content for you. This community is a family, and each one of you is a key part of what we're building here. And remember, hail to the Redskins.